So, first things first is that if you listen to this voice, and then those two voices sound very similar. Shouts to Koka on YouTube for the Japanese dub with English subtitles for Union Cross and other Kingdom Hearts games. You're a blessing for this type of video. Thank you so much. I do think that tells us that this is Ava in this video. And I think that is Ava. And that means that the reason we did not see her in the epilogue of Kingdom Hearts 3 is because Ava was not present because she was already in Unreality / Quadratum. Now, for people who don't know, people who are finding this video maybe on accident, and if you haven't run into the other thousands of analysis videos, Ava is a character from Back Cover, and if you skip the mobile game, Back Cover is a prequel to Union Cross and Cross, the browser game, and she's the main character from there. She's one of the seven foretellers who work under the Master of Masters, who was our main villain for this saga, the new saga. She had come off like she was not really working with him, but maybe she was. It was kind of up in the air, and now it feels like confirmation that she and everyone else have filled their roles, fulfilled their duties at the cost of other Keyblade wielders to help the Master of Masters achieve whatever his goal is. And his goal, I think, was to escape to Quadratum, or one of the things was to escape to Quadratum to... I don't really know for sure. I'm going to look into that stuff tonight for the next video that is going to be the Versus Concepts video. And that will have a much more detailed look into it because I have a lot of research to do. So I do think that it's interesting that it's Ava that's there, and it wasn't Luciu or Sigurd, who in the first trailer we see two Black Robe figures in 2022. And I had assumed that one of them was Sigurd this entire time, but it seems like it was the Master of Masters and Ava. Sigurd is in this trailer. I'm pretty confident in that. There's a character shows up that looks like him in terms of like design. So I do believe that's Sigurd, but I don't think he's working explicitly for the Master of Masters. What I think people from that era do, or where they came from, I'll wait till we get to Sigurd on the... As you can see here, this is a better shot from what is in the trailer, a better dynamic shot. So I'm going to assume this is from a different development build. That's not the trailer, because the trailer doesn't have this right here. So these airships might look familiar to you, or they might not. But if they do look familiar to you, it's because they are eerily similar to the ones in the Versus 13/15 games. It's not exactly one for one, but they have a very similar design to them. So I definitely do think that is intentional. And one idea that I have, because we still don't know how we get from world to world, right? We know there's different worlds in this game. My assumption, based off these airships, is that we're going to not use a gummy ship, is that we're going to use some type of airship for ourselves to travel across a connected world that is Quadratum connecting to the Disney worlds. I think it might be like a globe-trotting thing where it's all on one planet, right? It's all on one planet and we're on Tokyo or we're on Japan. And it could just be that that we get all the worlds in a shape of a country that's like Japan too, because Quadratum is in there. But I'm expecting something like a whole kingdom or a whole world that's not fully open world, has big areas, and we go across a continent, quote unquote, that is the Disney worlds, minus Star Wars, because Star Wars I don't think would make sense. So we're gonna leave the Earth and go up there in some way, and the airship could be a way to do that too. But that's my assumption, is something like that where we get a Final Fantasy type open or Final Fantasy type world map for Kingdom Hearts 4. I could be wrong, but that's my assumption, and it feels right. It feels correct. Maybe, I don't know. But I do think this is another thing where it's like, a lot of people don't like this, a lot of people do, that Tetsuya Nomura is using the Kingdom Hearts 4 to explore concepts that he wasn't able to with Versus 13. And I think it's going to be a 3-game thing, or maybe a middle game spinoff, and a final game that he's planning to do with this, because it was supposed to be a trilogy for the Versus game that came out a while ago. The Versus Epic, it'll be a Versus Epic inside of Kingdom Hearts, and I assume it's Kingdom Hearts 1, Verum Rex, Kingdom Hearts 6, and then the story for the Master Saga is over. Maybe a mobile game or a portable title for the Switch that's on everything else, but maybe mine with the Switch 2 in mind, that explores more stuff like Dark Road and the Foretellers. So maybe 4 games, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, or he has an idea, but that's my guesses. But anyways, back to the trailer. So one thing I want to go back to is to look at these lines. Not just listen to the voices, I turn the voices off, look at these lines. At first, there was no manifestation of what we know as light and darkness. But our rival have brought those concepts with us. Now, this is very Versus 13 coded. In the first trailer Versus 13, I'll bring this up again in my Versus 13 video. But in the first trailer Versus 13, a line pops up that says, "There is no such thing as good or bad. Thinking makes it so." William Shakespeare. And this first line is, "The structure of this world is incredibly complex. This is a very morally gray world. That's why I think they intentionally don't show us a world that's full of color much. We see sunlight, but there's a lot of overcast throughout this trailer. There's a nighttime section, but we never truly see the world with full color. And I think that's on purpose, because Quadratum is a complex world, a more complex world than Kingdom Hearts is original world. Which Kingdom Hearts' original world is complex. Riku is an example of how there's no real good or bad, right? Riku tells us that through his journey. And I think this is going to be a world that is very much like Riku as a person. Now, I don't know how that will involve him, but he's going to fit right into Quadratum. And we already know he's coming here because of Melody Memories and the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret ending. So we know he's going to be here. And I think they are going to explore a Versus concept that we don't really know. This is a lot of speculation based off the trailers. But it wasn't going to be good versus evil. Nomura talked about how Noxus was more, what's the word? More sly, more out there than Cloud or Sora. And I think he's going to be using concepts like morally gray, things like that, and how that clashes with a group of people who see in a way of black and white. And Kingdom Hearts is not, like I said already, Riku said that, but even Sora, knows that it's not really black or white. It's not a black or white world. The world is more than that. And I think that's what this is going to explore alongside death and things like that. And that's why it says darkness was given physical form only after we defined it. And once we defined what evil was to us as Keyblade wielders, the Heartless showed up. And I think this will come into play in another part of this too, this trailer too, when it comes to Luke's Ord. When we see him, I'll talk about that. But I really do like that idea that this is going to be Kingdom Hearts is already kind of complex and has more meaning to it. If you're a kid, you don't notice a lot of things. It's very lighthearted, black and white. But as you get older, as you play the games, as you get older, and why I think the games work so well as you grow up is because themes get more complex, but it's still a game for children. And those are some of my favorite types of stories, is that anyone can grasp onto them. And Kingdom Hearts 4 seems to be another way of doing that, but in an even more complex way. Now, let's talk about this cutscene direction here. The cutscene direction, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna talk real quick. I love Kingdom Hearts 3 to death. I don't care what nobody says, and I do think the cutscenes could have used a little bit more work to make them look better. It definitely seems like Kingdom Hearts 3 did not get the time it needed to make the cutscenes on the level that Square Enix is known for, in my opinion. And I think this game is showing, oh no, man, we got the time, we got the money. Tetsuya Nomura's group of Osaka is going all out, man. Osaka team is going all out. This is not the niggas y'all knew. This is not that group y'all thought y'all knew, bro. This is not who y'all thought y'all knew. This is a new level. This is post Remind. We learned HD development. We know what we're doing now. Type of Osaka team, man. And y'all not ready, bro. Y'all really not ready. I'm not either. Okay, here's Strelitzia. I actually don't know how to pronounce her name. I could be wrong. It might be Streliza. I hear people say Streliza, but I've been saying Strelitzia since she was introduced in the mobile game in Union Cross. So I don't know, probably like 10 years now, maybe more than that. But I've been saying Strelitzia for like 10 years, and she looks very good here. I like how stylized realistic it is, like Final Fantasy. They're really going for that stylized realism, and I know it's like, well, yeah, it's Final Fantasy, but a lot of people don't realize it's a stylization. It's not just going real. Like, this is still a anime character, but if they were in real life, and that's what Final Fantasy goes for, this is very Final Fantasy looking, and I love her design here, and I think she's talking to Yozora. She could be talking to the Master here, or another black robe figure, but I think she's talking to Yozora there. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's my assumption. We gotta talk about the lighting, bro. The lighting out in the city at, I assume, nighttime. Look at how the light bounces off her hair, man. This game is close to done. I'm convinced this is next year. Like, y'all not convincing me otherwise. I'm sorry. This is 2027. Okay, here's who I believe is Sigurd. He looks very much like Sid Reigns, but he has the Sigurd. He has a Sigurd outfit from what I remember about Sigurd's outfit, and I really do think that is him. Let's slow it down a little bit so we can talk about that. Just want to move slowly through it. I don't want to move too fast. Let's get through there. Then we get through the Strelitzia thing, and I do. He looks very. I think this is going to have a very diverse world. I could be interpreting this incorrectly, but I feel like he has very Korean features. I think that's on purpose. I think there's a black woman later in the fight scene who's recording Sora. So I think Quadratum is not just Japan, and not that Japan doesn't have foreigners. I mean, that's true. They have people of all races there. Obviously less common than a Japanese person, but I think that's this is going for a more diverse Japan is what the intent is to me. He looks very Korean to me in terms of structure, so that's really cool. That's what, if it's the case that Roberto, I assume, is the designer for this. I feel like it's a Roberto design rather than a Moore design that Roberto is going for, and yeah, so I'm really excited for that. I love this little design detail. I love the black tie. I love this. There's something about these that I want to talk about. Like, this feels like a what's the word? Representation of your faction, and I feel like that's on purpose because I think Luke Sword has something on his clothes that represents that too, and I think that's going to be a thing where it's a faction war between different factions in Quadratum as the main central story thing, and you go to Disney Worlds to do things that relate to that. Like, if there's a Keyblade lady that is a fire and ice one, or lava and water. Sorry, a fire and ice. And I'm thinking that's a Moana, but it would work in the case of a different factions coming together thing. I haven't seen the movie, so I apologize if this is incorrect. But based on the trailers and the poster I've seen of Elemental, which is about water and fire, water guy and fire girl, who's, there's different races and their families don't get along, type of thing, and they fall in love when they want to get together, but it's like a Romeo and Juliet type of thing is what the impressions I'm getting, which is what Stella and Noctis were supposed to be in Versus 13. So I really do think it could be Elemental for that reason. And I think that's going to be a thing here. Not more so Sora and our new girl that he cannot meet up with are on two different sides of the faction. But maybe it's like Sora is on a side of the faction and Riku's on another side. And they can't really meet up with each other. Because Riku kind of changes sides or something. He goes against Sora because he learns about what the Keyblade wielders have done to Quadratum. So something like that could be happening. Could be Strelitzia leaves Sora and that she's not really in the party, and something that she does makes her on another side of the faction. But that's my assumption. I could be wrong. But yeah, Sigurd, I think, has that representation. This is Volley. Volley is a character from Dark Road. He is Xehanort's upperclassman, and he has a entirely new fit on. But he looks like Noctis. Everyone's saying that he looks very much like Noctis, which is definitely on purpose. And he has a ninja mask on. I'm going to talk about him more in my Dark Road video, my Dark Road versus Kingdom Hearts 4 Union Cross video. But yeah, Volley is an upperclassman for Xehanort. Hold on, can I go back a little bit? Because we need to see his Keyblade. His Keyblade is not the same as he had in Dark Road, so he has a new one. Because in Dark Road, his Keyblade was the Starlight Keyblade, but this one he has a Ninja Keyblade. That is a Shuriken for sure. That's a Shuriken for sure. And I can't get a really good. I need to slow it down a little bit more. Let's see if I get to 25. 25. Let's slow it down a little. He has a Crescent Moon, so I think that might be for his clan or whatever. So I think he's also part of another faction. And it could just be the Keyblade will just have their, like, all together are in their own faction. And they're not separate ones. But I have a feeling this is part of a faction of ninja Keyblade wielders, something like that. Okay, Luxord, as you can see, has these two Phoenix-like pins on him. Now, I do think he purposely looks like Core from Final Fantasy 15. Definitely on purpose. That it probably was not the original plan when he created Luxord. But you know, after verse 13 got canceled, and after he got in verse 15, he decided, you know what, I'm going to use Luxord for Core, or a Core-like situation, Core-like placement in the story I want to tell. And I think the Phoenix is a representation of the Yozora thing, the Yozora part of Shinjuku, because we haven't seen Shinjuku yet. We've only seen Shibuya. Shinjuku is another area in Quadratum we know is there, but haven't seen. We know it's there because of the Case 3 secret movie, that's where Riku wakes up, is in Shinjuku. And yeah, so I think the Phoenix might be a representation of of that kingdom, and I think it's a Phoenix because Final Fantasy, the Phoenix Resurrection, so like that. So I do think this is Luxord coming over to Shibuya to talk to Sora now he finally found him, and take his card back maybe, because the card led him to Quadratum when he died. Might be what is the case. So yeah, but yeah, Luxord looks great. I love his outfit. I love the fits, man. I bet you this is a Rowan design. This is something designed by Rowan. I feel like all the outfits are going to be designed by Rowan because they look so FF15. There's no way they're not. Because, what's it called? Near the World's End with You had some Rowan designs in it too. And the Rowan guy is a friend of Nomura's. Sorry. And he appears as an NPC in Near the World's End with You. And I'm going to assume he's an NPC in this game too. I'm going to assume that. I'm probably right. I'm so excited, man. I'm so freaking excited. Okay, so people thought these black feathers were Sephiroth. Completely fair. That's completely fair. And I do think Final Fantasy characters are going to be in this game because people complained about it enough in 3. And we see throughout this entire trailer that they're responding to 3 criticism. So don't you worry about that. But I think this is the Master of Masters. And the feathers are a faction who was going to be Missing Link called Odin's Children, I think? Odin's something. Odin's Ravens, I think, is the name. But they use their feathers to control people in Missing Link in the beta cutscenes we saw. And that's why these feathers might be dropping, is that it's going to be them. And there were 2 we saw in the trailer. In the data mine, don't kill me, Square Enix. In the data mine, those 2 guys have a raven mask on them. So I assume that is who is dropping these feathers next to the Master of Masters. This is Donald and Goofy in Hades, in the other world, and in Dark Road, it is shown that you can communicate with the dead on the other side of Quadratum if you go to the underworld in Hades world, because Xehanort and some others talked to Volley and some others who were already dead, and had a heart-to-heart conversation with them, and learned how they died, and they talk to them like that. So I think Sora's going to communicate with Donald and Goofy, and maybe others through the underworld, like that. So the young Xehanort is here. He's here, and a lot of people are happy, a lot of people aren't happy, and that's going to be the case with a lot of stuff that this game does, that we see pre-release, and maybe everyone will come around when the game releases. But young Xehanort is here, and he's been hinted at since 2022, and in fact he's been hinted at since coming back, since Kingdom Hearts 3, where he said he needs one more lifetime to see the world that he created. And I think this is his 14th vessel. Some people assume that he doesn't remember anything about Sora, but I don't believe that personally. I think he's going to remember Sora. I really do. I think he's going to remember Sora, and they're going to have some kind of conflict, be it big or small, where Sora doesn't really, trust him, right? Because his face looks like he's like, is it really you type of deal? And I think the water, I saw this thread on Twitter and I totally agree with it. The water in the sky, water in general in Kingdom Hearts means something. It always represents sorrow, protection, things like that. And I think that this umbrella is there trying to protect Sora from his sorrow, his depression, and the reason why he's not really doing a good job with it is that he can't really protect Sora or help him get through whatever is going on here, and Sora has to really do it himself. Which I really like that idea of that thread I saw. So I really like that idea. That sounds really cool. Okay, now what's the gameplay, I think? Yes, okay, so before I get into the sick ass gameplay. Now, for some reason, this trailer doesn't have the UI. So I can't really go over those aspects. But I can talk about what I remember. But this is the build command where you build meter and you execute by using focus, your focus gauge, which should be on the side here. And as you use your build meter, it changes the build command. And then once you do a certain build attack, you get a reaction command, which is really cool. So let's go over. Now, this is the Keyblade that I think is Moana, but it could be elemental because, like I said, I haven't watched the movie. So maybe there's an element to it where the water and fire girl combine and create magma or create like rock or something out of it, but magma is a huge part of Moana, so was water, so that's why I was like, this is probably Moana. I haven't really watched the Disney movie after Moana, and I'm going to change that when we get world locations. I'm going to change that and theorize how they incorporate into the story like I did with Kingdom Hearts 3. I probably might make a video on that, I don't know, but we'll see for sure. But yeah, there's this build combo. As he twirls and twirls, he can use it more. Then use is one called Volcanic Impact, or Volcanic something, and then it transforms into Volcanic Impact, which leads to this knock up, and then really heavy looking down smash attack, which knocks him back. Which, oh my god, guys, this looks so weighty in the best way possible. Like, that impact was gnarly, man. Let me go back again. We gotta look at that again. We gotta look at it again. Look at that, bro. Look at this. Like, this game is gonna feel amazing. It's going to feel freaking amazing, man. Oh my god, it's gonna feel freaking amazing. Y'all, bro, we're not ready for how impactful this looks. And Jerry pointed out in his video that looks like people are recording Sora as he does his fights. So I wonder if there's a public reception mechanic that happens. The more people you save, the more people you do nice things for, your public reception goes up, where people like you more and you're more of a hero to people in Quadratum. Then we have the nighttime. Like this is specifically like something that turns me on. This turns me on. Is I love rain. I love overcast. It's my favorite weather condition in anything, and I blame Persona 4. I blame Persona 4. And so when this game showed me that there's a rainy scene at night in the streets of Shibuya, oh my god! And I love the location of Shibuya in urban fantasy because of Bleach, and that has just been a thing that's been consistent throughout my entire life. Is that fucking urban fantasy is the coolest thing ever to me. It could take place anywhere. If you got dudes fighting monsters in the streets of any city, I'm there. Especially Shibuya after Jujutsu Kaisen took over my life. That's like my favorite manga right now. My favorite manga ever. Is Jujutsu Kaisen, and Kingdom Hearts 4 is going in that direction. Like, I was locked in. I was locked in Day one as soon as I saw that secret ending. That secret ending was like, I think it came out like around when JJK, I was first getting the JJK, like 2019. So you like the Shibuya incident was going on, and in the manga, and I was like, bro, Kingdom Hearts gonna be in the streets of Shibuya. It's gonna be amazing. And look at the cars moving. Like this, like the city, like this makes me want to cry. Like I literally want to cry because of this. Like this is a dream game for me. Like you have not, like even more than Kingdom Hearts 3. Like even more than Kingdom Hearts 3 was for like everybody. A lot of people wanted Kingdom Hearts 3 to be the end of the story, And I'm so glad it wasn't. I'm so glad it wasn't. And would I have been happy if this was Versus 13? Yeah. Like, I would have been locked in if it was Versus 13. But it being incorporated to Kingdom Hearts is, like, amazing. And this is just, like, this is a dream game for me. And I'm so glad that, like, I really do apologize to people who want 3 to feel like a definitive ending. You want to get out after that. And you left feeling unsatisfied. But, Tetsuya Nomura makes games for me, man. Tetsuya Nomura makes games for me, man. Like, okay, let me talk about the gameplay. Sorry, I'm just obsessed. But I do, okay, so this is the Kingdom Keys reaction command build system. Build stuff. So the build stuff for the Kingdom Keys seems to be a gold chains, as we saw when he fought Darkseid, which I assume is going to be named Darkseid. Which is another Final Fantasy thing I'll point out when I make that video. I have to remember to put that in, but yeah, I'll talk about that more there too. But yeah, so when he does it, then you do a reaction command. Once they don't show the UI in this trailer, but you press L2 to grind onto the rails, and then the rails keep the monster in a lock. And then you can bounce off and do the projectiles and keep him in. Then you can chain whip him up, then shoot more projectiles, and he sticks in the air. Then you can do another chain into them, grind, and keep the combo going. It's a very combo heavy game, which is interesting because 3 was already getting more combo heavy than Kingdom Hearts, I want to say, originally was. I think the Osaka team games were very RPG centric, and 3 is very much like that too. But 3 is very much more a 3 is much more a character building, little in detail mechanics like keyblade building and eating food RPG game. So it's more RPG like than even the Kingdom Hearts 2, I want to say, which is interesting. And I hope this keeps in line with that it sticks to more RPG like elements. This is Keyblade finishers from 3. They just brought them back in a new way, which I do not mind personally. I like the Keyblade finishers in 3. That animation is so close to the Hercules one. It's actually really funny. So then we have this. Here we go with a actual combo. Now, so I slowed down the video so you can't really see it. Let me actually put it back at 1x speed. But Sora's base combo is much faster. Sorry, much faster than it was in Kingdom Hearts 3. As someone who just played the Kingdom Hearts 3 demo, I played the demo on Switch too, and I was like, whoa, this feels so slow. Then I look at this, like in comparison to this, it's like, wow, that is much faster, much more snappy. And I don't think this is a barrier guard. A lot of people think it's a barrier guard. I think this is something that happens because if you look at this, Okay, you see Sora. There's no barrier. There's no barrier when he executes the move. It's there when he gets hit. So I think that is a way so that maybe they haven't figured out a way to actually do this, but make it so that you can't really get, because Kingdom Hearts 3 has a problem where you block and you can still get like attack through the block, and maybe they haven't figured out a way to make it so that doesn't happen, and this is their solution, was to put another barrier around it. So if you block from the front, you don't get hit from the back by an animation snipe. I don't know exactly what the issue was, but that's my assumption for this, that this is a way to do that. But I don't think this is a barrier block. The barrier shows up after he blocks it, so I don't think people have to worry about that. I don't think it's a 360 guard. I think it's a normal guard that just has a barrier show up after you do it. And here we go with more Darkseid, and then we unfortunately end this trailer off here. I wish it was so much longer. I'm greedy. And then he just blocks it, and then Kingdom Hearts 4 on all platforms. I spent a long time on that, and I do apologize. And the next one will be even more meaty. So I'm so excited, man. What do you guys think about my thoughts? How do you feel? Do you feel similar about a lot of things, like the fantasy, the setting of urban fantasy? Do you think the base combo is faster? Do you think that guard is just a normal guard with a barrier after it, or do you think it's like a barrier guard? Because in my opinion, it's not a barrier guard. And the gameplay looks really fun. I like the new Keyblade look. I love the character designs. Everything just looks magical. It just looks like the game I've been dreaming about since 2006. It just really does. It just really looks like a game I've been dreaming about since 2006. It's not going to be that exactly. It's not going to be versus 13 exactly. But it's going to be close. Which is all I care about. I just want something that is something similar. And this feels like that. I don't think there'll be a game better than this. This is going to be the greatest game I've ever played in my life. This, Yazora, Verum Rex, and 6 will be the best 3 games I've ever played in my life. Okay, I'm so excited. Next video is coming out soon. It will be a much bigger one. And I hope you guys enjoy this one. And you will definitely, if you love versus 13, love the idea of versus 13, love 15. If you just love Noctis Lucius Kylo, if you love that black-haired boy, that black-haired twink, this video is for you. This next video is for you. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day. I can't talk. I can't talk. Hope you guys have a great day. And peace, crazy games, everybody.